Excerpts from Physics Division Field Manual 13, Special Circumstances, Humanoid Threat Entities. Type Red, Regenerator. Introduction. A regenerator, type Red, is an overarching designation for any individual who possesses the ability to reconstitute damaged tissue and limbs. Contrary to popular belief, a type Red is not indestructible. Numerous methods exist for disabling the regenerative ability of a type Red or liquidating the type Red despite their abilities. In some cases, type Reds will self-terminate through uncontrolled use of their abilities. However, most cases will require intervention by an operative. Forms. Flawed regeneration. This type of type Red is a low threat and can usually be engaged by a single operative. When injured, instead of replicating the lost tissue, the type Red's body will instead fill the gap with a material unsuited for the area. For example, if a flawed regenerator experiences the loss of an arm, there is a chance it will be replaced with a large growth formed from tooth enamel. This form of type Red will typically kill itself via accumulated minor injuries, if left alone. Limited regeneration. This form of type Red possesses the ability to slowly reconstitute lost tissue, and in some cases limbs. Limited regenerators can prove dangerous in combat situations, as permanent injury is difficult to maintain. See techniques for more information on how to permanently liquidate them. Full regeneration. This form of type Red possesses the ability to regenerate lost tissue and limbs in a matter of seconds, making liquidation or permanent injury impossible. See techniques for information on how to incapacitate this form of type Red. Expanding regeneration. To date, 7 type Reds of this form have been discovered and incapacitated. Engagement by anything less than a response level 5 effort comprising multiple strike teams is not recommended. Expanding regenerators possess not only the ability to regenerate lost tissue and limbs, but also generate further limbs and organs, often drastically increasing in size during the process. This combination makes expanding regenerators formidable opponents. Further information on how to incapacitate this form of type Red can be found in techniques. Reincarnation. Type Reds of this form are highly elusive and dangerous, as they cannot be liquidated in a traditional sense. No known threat entities of this form are confirmed, though many entities have spuriously claimed to be reincarnators. Several forms of potential threat entities are monitored by the Coalition, but determining whether or not a PTE is a reincarnator could theoretically take multiple lifetimes of observation. Sources. A. Consumer. Most type Reds still require raw material and energy to reconstitute lost mass and tissue. This means a very high metabolism, and that means a lot of food. In these cases, it may be valuable to monitor their patterns of movement and identify their sources of material and nutrition. This will allow a strike team to better select a location to stage an ambush from. B. Converter. A few type Reds are capable of converting inorganic matter into material their body can use to regenerate. These entities are far more versatile than ordinary consumers and can sustain themselves in most environments. Depending on the materials they consume and how they convert them, they may be more durable than ordinary type Reds. C. Conjurer. Exceedingly few type Reds of this variety exist. Those that do are highly dangerous because they can generate the necessary matter and energy to reconstitute themselves without needing to feed and they cannot be exhausted. Identification. Initial identification of type reds usually takes place when an observer reports a person suffering an injury that heals unusually quickly. An assessment or strike team will then engage the target, move them to a secure location, immobilize them, and administer a Sharps test. A small incision is made to the subject's palm, and the rate and nature of the rapid healing assessed. Capture. Type reds are difficult to liquidate in the field. Operatives will often have to capture the subject before transferring them to another location for a final liquidation. Injury to the legs is effective against limited regenerators and some full regenerators. Alternatively, multiple and repeated injuries to the body will often incapacitate some full regenerators, while their body repairs the injuries. A knife, stake, or other sharp object can be forcibly embedded into the brain. Although the type red will attempt to regenerate brain and skull matter, the sharp object will prevent full regeneration. Recommended point of insertion is the base of the skull, through the brainstem and upper spinal cord. In the case of expanding regenerators, liberal application of fire is recommended. This may make it difficult to capture or transport the still burning subject. Techniques. Incineration. The type red is placed into a mobile incineration trailer, which is then primed and ignited. Depending on the level of regenerative abilities, multiple applications of fire may be required. In extreme cases, incineration may be required in perpetua. Submersion. The type red is placed in a sealed container, which is then completely filled or immersed in water. This will cause the type red to drown, regenerate brain functions, and subsequently drown again, rendering the type red effectively incapacitated. An alternative to this method replaces the water with earth, concrete, molten metal, or another solid. Corrosion. Similar to submersion, but replaces the water with high molar acid. Erosion. The subject is reduced to multiple smaller pieces by cutting or abrasion. In some cases, this can be effective on its own. In other cases, erosion may be used to enhance the effectiveness of one of the other liquidation methods. Poisoning. Cold iron is capable of inducing rapid metal poisoning, and the manner in which it does so can liquidate many type reds, as it will prevent cellular regeneration and will deprive the host's vital organs, including the brain, of oxygen. A single bullet is enough to kill most subjects, given time. Complete destruction. A regenerator cannot regenerate from injury if they have nothing to regenerate from. Should a type red survive all other attempts to eliminate it, GOC High Command may give the order to deploy a small nuclear payload with the goal to destroy the subject. Destruction must occur completely on a cellular level at a speed that the subject cannot regenerate at. Even if the subject survives the blast itself, it is predicted that the radiological damage to the DNA will essentially render the subject a large mass of tumors. Note: extreme cases may require the use of multiple methods in rapid succession.